Let's begin with the India story, ending the 2-year-old dispute over their Indian telecom venture. Japanese firm entity Docomo said it has received $2 billion from Tata Sons, which the amount of received it is by what Docomo received. This pertains to arbitration award and includes interest earned and other costs awarded. It added concurrent with the receipt of amount all shares in TTSL held by Docomo. It has been transferred to Tata Sons and companies designated by Tata Sons. In Feb this year, Tata Sons had said it had reached an agreement with entity Docomo on a joint approach to enable enforcement of a compensation award granted by London Court of International Arbitration in 2016 in favor of Japanese company. However, Reserve Bank of India had objected to transfer, which was later rejected by Delhi High Court in April. And Indians' love for property is well known across the world. No wonder Indians have become the biggest property buyers in Dubai. Indians bought property worth 42,000 crore rupees or $64 million in Dubai from Jan 2016 to June 2017, making them yet again the top foreign property investors in the Emirates. And let's look at what kind of property investment Indians prefer in Dubai. Indians have bought property worth 42,000 crore in Dubai, which is around $6.2 million. While this was bought from Jan last year to June this year from Dubai site, and Indian buyers have invested rupees 30,000 crore in 2014. That means 3 years ago they had invested 30,000 crore. That has now gone up by 12,000 crore as far as Dubai property is concerned. So massive jump over there when it comes to Dubai property. Indians have topped the list of the buyers in Dubai. This is an increase of 12,000 crore from 2014 when department recorded Indian buyers investing 30,000 crore that year. This was more than a quarter of total sales of 1 lakh crore rupees of non-Arab property investment in 2014. For years, Indians have consistently been the most prolific non-GCC buyers of Dubai real estate. From January last year to June this year, they bought property worth more than 42,000 crore rupees in the Emirate. The Dubai property market is highly regulated and safeguards interests of buyers, tenants and landlords alike. Experts say when it comes to renting property in Dubai, the real estate regulatory agency RERA has set definitive laws to regulate the relationship between landlord and tenant there. These laws outline each party's roles and responsibilities to minimize often occurring disputes and misunderstandings.
There are a lot of Indians. Indian been investing more than 126 billion accumulated number till the year 2017. So Dubai is a unique place. I mean, it's only 2-3 hours flight from Dubai to India to reach Bombay. We have a huge number of Indians already residents in Dubai and UAE. So the strategical location of Dubai being in the center, near to India, near to Europe, and the airline network have the good opportunity for people to invest in Dubai.
And India's fiscal deficit at the end of first half of the current fiscal touched 91.3% of the budget estimate, mainly due to rise in expenditure. In absolute terms, the fiscal deficit difference between expenditure and revenue was 4.99 lakh crore rupees during the April-September period of 2017 and 18. So the fiscal deficit in India has touched 91.3% of FY18 target. This year target 91% has already been fulfilled so far. If we look at fiscal deficit, it's around 5 lakh crore rupees. That fiscal deficit during April-September period that has been achieved so far. And the fiscal deficit was 83.9% in same period last year, and this time it's 91.3% so far, which has been achieved. Well, this is according to data of Controller General of Accounts or CGA. And there is a race in US to select the new US Fed chief after Janet Yellen retires next year. And former Reserve Bank of India Governor Raghuram Rajan could become the next head of US Federal Reserve. Global financial magazine Barron has named Rajan as the ideal choice. However, US President Donald Trump is likely to pick Federal Reserve Governor Jerome Powell for the post. The term of the current head of Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, is set to expire early next year. Reports suggest Trump will name her successor tomorrow. Meanwhile, Barron's magazine pitched for Rajan as the next head of Federal Reserve in an article that read, in sports, teams can recruit the best talent from around the globe, or why not central banks? Raghuram Rajan shot to fame 3 years after he presented a paper at an annual gathering of economists and bankers in the US in 2005, in which he had predicted a financial crisis. Now, his 3-year term as RBI governor ended in September last year. And staying with India news, where reports say top government functionaries are upset with tech giant Infosys over glitches in goods and services tax bill implementation. The government official had reportedly expressed disappointment over Infosys' work that, according to them, led to various extension of deadlines for filing of returns. Government on October 30 again deferred filing of GSTR2 for July to September 30 from October 31st and GSTR3 for July to December 11 from November 10. GSTR2 for July was to be originally filed in August. GSTR2 or purchase returns have to be matched with GSTR1, which is the sales return. Over 50 lakh businesses had filed July GSTR1 returns. And we are joined by our correspondent Pragya Jha from Mumbai. Good evening to you, Pragya. First of all, what is the whole this mess all about? Why is there blame game, and what is this blame game over GST glitches? Government is saying that Infosys is responsible.
That's right, Sumit. Now, so long the face of India's software sector, Infosys has been serving, and it was, back in 2015 when a rupee 1,380 crore deal for developing and running GST's back-end network was given to Infosys by the government. Now, we also hear that in the latest report that 3 top government functionaries have expressed strong disappointment with the company over frequent glitches that have actually, rendered quite slow the goods and service tax network, or the GSTN as we call it, leading to extension of deadlines for returns several times. Now, I can point out here that the government on October 30th again deferred the filing of GST returns, the second part for July, that was to November 30th from October 31st, and the GSTR, the third part of the GST returns, has been deferred to December 11th from November 10th. Now, originally the GST was to be filed in August, so this is the kind of delay that we are seeing, and government officials also particularly seem to be irked with some sections. They say that it takes a lot of time for the company to respond or come up with solutions to the problem.
And Pragya, any word from Infosys? Have you been managed to talk to them offline, off the record or on record? What is Infosys saying on this?
Now, from the Infosys side, they said that the kind of complaints or, government blaming them is totally wrong and out of context. They've said that some of their finest engineers have been supporting the GSTN, and they say that they are working relentlessly towards resolving these problems. And of course, this is a new system that's been put in place. As much time people will take to get into the culture or to inculcate the culture of, returning or filing the returns via the internet for the GST, the short-term issues remain with the software and the back-end networking issue by the Infosys.
All right, Pragya, thank you for getting us all these details, and you were on the top of this story. Please keep on continuing following this story for us for WION Wallet. And beginning with global news, sales of Japanese carmaker Nissan have halved after a scandal resurfaced last month. Sales of Nissan brand passenger cars stood at 1,134 vehicles, down 55.2% points from a year earlier. company had suspended all domestic production due to an inspection scandal. The drop comes after Nissan admitted it had failed to meet domestic rules on final vehicle inspections and recalled around 1.2 million vehicles produced and sold in Japan for re-inspection. Last month, Japan's number 2 automaker said it was suspending all production destined for the Japanese market. The dramatic fall in Nissan brand cars compares with a more modest decline of just 4.4% points in overall sales in Japanese market in the month. Nissan produced around 1.015 million vehicles in Japan in its last fiscal year to March, with about 400,000 units sold locally. And moving to tech world, where virtual currency Bitcoin, that is seeing no signs of fading away from the memories of financial markets, has further hit record highs. Bitcoin jumped to an all-time high of above $6,300 yesterday, and today also it has increased. Well, this has happened after world's largest futures market operator CME Group said it would launch a regulated trading venue for cryptocurrencies in the fourth quarter of current year. The new futures contract will be settled in cash based on the CME of Bitcoin reference rate, a once-a-day reference rate of the US dollar price of Bitcoin. The company said the price of Bitcoin jumped to as high as $6,400 according to trade website CoinDesk's price index, which aggregates the prices quoted across several exchanges. That was up from around $6,215 before the news. On the Luxembourg G-based Bitstamp exchange, Bitcoin jumped to as high as $6,300 per Bitcoin, up almost 4% on the day. Bitcoin has surged in value by around 555% so far this year. And like all other areas of human life, technology is shaping up things in different way in consumer durable sector also in India, and tech giant Samsung is planning now a giant leap into that space. South Korean technology major Samsung is drawing up plans to commence mass production of IoT-enabled products in the consumer durable space in the next 2 to 3 years. Well, this is expected to make the high-end cloud-based connected technology more affordable for developing markets and emerging economies. IoT stands for Internet of Things. Samsung, which recently launched its first IoT-enabled washing machine in India, plans to introduce more connected appliances that can be controlled through devices such as smartphones. The company expects its mid-segment products to be IoT-driven as well. Currently, only a few top-end models in key categories have such features. IoT refers to a network of devices and sensors connected through the internet. Korean giant Samsung had started investing in IoT and cloud technologies many years ago. And let's check the latest in Brexit. At a time crucial, Brexit negotiations are on. Britain is accelerating preparations for all eventualities when it leaves the EU. Reports also say both sides are hopeful of an agreement on stepping up talks to unravel more than 40 years of partnership that will be sealed soon. Take a look at the story.
With only 17 months remaining until Britain's expected departure, the slow pace of talks has increased the possibility of UK leaving without a deal. This has alarmed business leaders who say time is running out for them to make investment decisions. Britain and EU negotiators met in Brussels and agreed to hold further divorce talks on 9th and 10th of November. The pressure has spurred the British government to step up its Brexit plans, employing thousands of more workers and spending millions to make sure custom posts, laws and systems work on day one of Brexit, even without a deal on a future relationship. At a meeting with ministers on Tuesday, Prime Minister Theresa May was updated on plans for the Tax and Customs Authority to add a further 3,000 to 5,000 workers next year and for spending of $660 million for Brexit. May wants to silence critics in her ruling Conservative Party who are pressing her to walk away from talks which have faltered over how much Britain should pay to leave the bloc and also step up the negotiations. Brexit campaigners are demanding that Britain leave with no deal if the talks do not move on beyond a discussion of the divorce settlement on a so-called Brexit bill, EU citizen rights and the border with EU member Ireland by December. Brexit Minister David Davis said on Tuesday that he believed that Britain would agree to some kind of basic deal with the European Union, even in the very improbable eventuality that they fail to agree to a trade deal. May's government has also long said it would welcome an acceleration in the talks. Bureau Report, WION.
And tens of thousands of passengers were stranded in Argentina yesterday. This as employees of Airlines, Argentina's and Austral Airlines went on 24-hour strike. Frustrated passengers gathered at Buenos Aires airport to find alternate flights. Reports suggest at least 40,000 passengers were affected due to the strike. Airline unions had announced the strike last week, but it started several hours earlier than expected, taking many travelers by surprise. Employees are demanding a 26% hike in their salaries in Argentina.
La verdad, pues pasé toda la noche acá en el aeropuerto y me tocó dormir en el piso porque qué más hago. Y bueno, más pues traía unos dólares y los cambié por pesos argentinos pues para comer algo. Y ya casi se me acaba la plata. No pensé encontrarme con esa situación.
So make everything is nothing. Go this country, nothing. You know? In my future, I don't want to come.
And let's go to market segment. Indian markets have jumped once again and they have touched actually record highs. Sensex was up around 400 points. If we see, and Nifty was up also by 1.02%, up 100 points. Nifty ended at 10,440 while Sensex ended at 33,600 points. So clearly a very good day for markets over there. The main reason was World Bank's report yesterday that had actually improved the ranks of India as far as the ease of doing business is concerned. So the market, including Nifty and Sensex, both were in green today. To talk more on markets, we are joined by our analyst for this evening, Chandan Taparia, derivative analyst at MOSL. Good evening to you, Mr. Chandan, and I would like to ask you then the reason for this, and going forward, do you expect the bull run to continue?
Yes, very good evening. We have seen the strong momentum in the market, or especially from last 9 to 10 months, this rally is being witnessed. In this calendar year, Nifty itself rallied by more than 27%. Today, we have seen the strong up move. Nifty made the new lifetime high near to 10,450. So it's continuously making higher tops, higher bottom formation, and sustained liquidity is clearly visible in the market. In last couple of months, we have seen sustained buying from the DIs. They are buying by more than 5,000 crore every month. So liquidity from DIs is continuously driving the market on the higher side. It has already seen the breakout from immediate hurdle of 10,250, and we are expecting this rally to head towards 10,750. Today, Bank Nifty index also rallied well. That has surpassed previous lifetime high of 25,198, and expecting this rally to extend towards 26,000. So buying interest could be seen in most of the banking, auto, NBFC, and infra counter, and Nifty can even rally by 5 to 6% if you look at the monthly or the 2 months time of period index cycle in the market.
And Chandan, what about the global markets? What is happening over there? How do you expect the global markets to behave in the coming few days?
Yes, the reason of the positive momentum in the equity market is liquidity and the positive strengths of the global indices. We have seen the Dow, S&P both are hitting to the new lifetime highs. Or in fact, we have seen the buying interest in metal indices. Earlier in the Indian market, the PSU banks were not performing, but after the recapitalization, most of the PSU bank rallied by more than 25 to 50%. So it's the across broad-based buying in the market, and expecting global market to rally forward. We have seen the cool down in the volatility. So it's a global bull market scenario, whether in the domestic as well as the global indices. And that is the reason that day by day market is hitting to the new high territory.
And any, we can say, stocks that are on top of your radar, Chandan, as far as the markets are concerned?
Yes, we have many recommendations over here is expecting this rally to continue for next 6 months to 2 years time of horizon, expecting even Nifty index to rally by more than 10 to 12% going forward. As stock idea is concerned, we are positive even the selective banking counter, especially ICICI Bank, is likely to do well. However, we have seen the strong momentum in last couple of weeks, but expecting this rally to extend by further 7 to 8%. The stock closed near to 313, expecting it to move towards 333 to 340 kind of level. Apart from that, SBI is likely to do well. Just a couple of days back, it made the high near to it witnessed some consolidation. So as per its price pattern, it can again head towards 340 to 345 level. So ICICI Bank and SBI are the two counter which can do well. Apart from that, we are positive on the selective NBFC counter. Shriram Transport Finance is continuously holding the gains. Results were better. So here also we can see the move towards 1250 to 1270. That is the upside of 5 to 7% on the immediate. So these couple of stocks, especially ICICI Bank, SBI, Shriram Transport, Tata Motors, Maruti, are likely to do well. Traders as well as the investor can look for an upside move of 5 to 15% in next coming weeks.
All right, Chandan, thank you for talking to us and getting us all these important details this evening. Well, that's all today we have in this edition of WION Wallet. For more news and updates, stay tuned to WION, and thanks for watching us.